On this week's show, Star Wars celebration and Toy Box collaboration. All this and more on episode 82 of the Inside Infinity podcast.
What's up, guys? This is John Vignacchi, executive producer on Disney Infinity, and you are listening to Inside Infinity, the first official Disney Infinity podcast on the net.
Inside Infinity is brought to you with support from Eviloss Customs. Eviloss.com is your number one place for Disney Infinity or Amiibo-related custom figures. He is so kind, he donates a custom figure each and every month to give away on the show, and this month is Cosmic Randall here. You see on screen, a really awesome figure. It has constellations and everything, so we thank you for that, Eviloss Customs. Stay tuned, we're going to be giving this one away live in just a little bit, so head on over to evilosscustoms.com to find out more. Hello everyone, welcome to Inside Infinity episode number 82. I don't know what face Pirate Steven is giving me there, but it was one that made me laugh. He was excited to see the start of the show.
I love it.
What?
I love the start of the show.
You love the start of the show. Of course you do. Why not? It's another Monday, which means that it's another Inside Infinity. This episode was recorded on live March 30th, 2015. We record each and every Monday evening, 8 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time. Head on over to twitch.tv/Disney Infinity TV to watch us live and be in the chat. You can sit there and chat with us, talk to us. We have lots of folks in the chat. Would like to welcome everyone. Let's go through a few names here. We have AGR Mel. Welcome to the show. Full of Gunk, good seeing you. Gospel Crusader. We have Matt88. What's up, Nick? Model Train Man. Mr. Hobo Ninja, great name. Taylor Lynn, welcome back. Sonic Photo. Baroness Wildlife. So just mentioned a few names, but we have lots of friends in the chat. So welcome everyone in the chat. So great seeing you this evening. Joining me tonight, once again, Mr. Jason Haynes, hailing all the way from Australia. G'day, mate.
G'day, mate. How you going?
How are you doing today, Jason?
Really good, really good. I'm finished with toy boxes for at least, I don't know, a week, day, who knows, when inspiration strikes. So, yeah, we've only got one more to submit. We're going to submit after the show, right, Pirate?
No, I've already done it.
Oh, well, I'm done. So, thank you very much. Good night.
I don't know. I think you're just going to wait for your next challenge that inspires you to build 3 boxes at the same time and submit it.
I won't be doing 3 at the same time again. I can tell you that much. But we could discuss that in our second part of our discussion.
Perfect. Well, that other voice you heard and the handsome devil in his pirate hat is none other than Pirate Steven, coming to us from DisneyInfinityFans.com. Pirate, how are you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm awesome. We submitted the Pirates box, and it's just an awesome feeling when you can finally just get rid of what you've been working on for weeks. Let everybody finally get to play it.
Well, the process is fun, right? But it is kind of a nice relief once you kind of can put it to bed and lay it to rest.
Yeah, you just test it, and you test it until you don't want to ever play it again.
Well, we are going to be talking lots about the 3 of ours experience building toy boxes together later on in the show. But before we get to that, we want to make sure that we let you know about DisneyInfinityFans.com. Right below Steven's Pirate's name there. This podcast is brought to you in partnership with the Disney Infinity Fans Forum, the #1 Disney Infinity related forum on the internet. Great group over there, lots of great conversation. Pirate, you guys have what, like the majority of toy box wins? What's the ratio of Infinity fan wins versus non?
87% of featured toy boxes from 1.0 and 2.0 has come from this one forum.
That's incredible. Good. That's a testament to just the content that's on the forums and kind of the thing I love about is the toy box artist community there is that it's just one big happy family, and you guys are always talking about what toy boxes you're working on, giving each other advice and ideas and stuff, and I just love the really open collaboration you have going there.
Yeah, it started from the beginning. I was talking to Tigga, Sheriff Woody, on the forums, and we were thinking, man, it'd be cool if we had one forum member that got featured. And it's since then, we started our own rankings, and it just blossomed and got crazy. Every week we were going for the clean sweep.
That's awesome. It's really cool. Yeah, so everyone should definitely check out DisneyInfinityFans.com and become a part of that community. We're actually going to have Sheriff Woody, a.k.a. Tigga, on a future show. We're just trying to – he's all the way in the UK, and so we're just trying to schedule a time that works out for the show and having him on. But we're really excited to have him on a roundtable in a future episode, so that's going to be fun. Cool. Well, with that, so people may have noticed in the chat, if you're watching, or on YouTube if you're watching, that the format's a little bit different tonight. There's 3 of us up here. We normally start with a news show that is just 2 of us, and then we add a few more for a roundtable. There was practically no news this week, and so we're just rolling right into the roundtable and just starting a little bit of discussion. Just open-ended discussion, so feel free, chat, if you want to chat with us as we're going live. Please feel free to do so. Before we get started with our few topics of the night, though, we are going to have a giveaway for the live chat. This is an incentive for you to tune in live each and every week. So we're going to throw out a trivia question into the Twitch chat. I intentionally did this because I knew Pirate would rig it. He can't look at the chat right now, so he can't enter. I knew he would get his spam bot ready. But whoever answers this trivia question first is going to win that custom Evilos. I'm going to bring it up on screen again. This custom Randall. Oh, Pirate's bringing up his phone. He's ready. So the trivia question is, and Pirate, you might even know this off the top of your head, but the trivia question is, for this custom Evilos Randall, make sure you type it in chat as quickly as you can. We're going to be talking a little bit of Star Wars to start the show off. So we want to know, what was the theatrical release date for Episode 4, Star Wars A New Hope? What was its original theatrical release date? So hurry up and type that in the chat, and the first one to throw it in the chat is going to be the winner of that Evilos figure, and we will be in touch. So what does Disney Infinity have to do with Star Wars, you might be asking? Well, we don't know for sure, but if you were a betting person, if you were betting on Infinity, chances are you might be betting on Disney Infinity 3.0 to be Star Wars focused. So the second one was Marvel focused, and all signs point to Star Wars as being the focus for 3.0. What does this have to do with what we're talking about tonight? Well, we kind of want to speculate on when we think 3.0 might be announced. So Jason, do you remember when 3.0 was announced last year?
You mean 2.0?
2.0, yes. Thank you.
Nope. I'm trying to think. Gosh. Was it only this year? Or was this year?
No, it was
last year.
Okay, that should have been the trivia question of the night. Pirate Steven, do you remember what it was?
I remember it was April, and it was like the week after we did a Star Wars episode about what we thought was going to be in 2.0, and ended up being Marvel. So we got thrown a curve.
I believe it was April 16th. If memory serves me correctly, it was April 16th of last year. And we were looking at some dates today, and just a couple weeks, Pirate. And in fact, our good friend Stephen C. is going to be heading there. Star Wars Celebration in Anaheim. It's a big Star Wars, essentially, fan convention. Happens each and every year. I'm going to bring it up on screen here. And you can see here the dates up at the top. It's kind of hard to see. April 16th through the 19th, 2015. I don't know if I'm alone in this, but I did want to bring it up. I personally believe that Disney Infinity 3.0 is going to be announced at this celebration. If you are a gamer, then you know that a new Star Wars game is being discussed at the event. the third installation of Star Wars Battlefront, which is a first-person shooter, and so there is going to be some gaming talk then. And I don't know, Steve Pirate, do you think that this could be a good date for them to announce Star Wars 3.0 if it is, Disney Infinity 3.0 if it is Star Wars focused?
I think it's a great time to announce it. It is going to be in Anaheim, which is right at probably at the convention center, which is right across the street from Disneyland. So it's a great venue. I mean, there's a couple of backups. They have May the 4th, if they wanted to do a May the 4th Be With You event, or Star Wars weekends in Walt Disney World. But I think Celebration is the perfect opportunity to snag the Star Wars fans and get them pumped and excited, just like they tried with the Marvel fans. I just hope that when they do announce that they're going to be doing something there, that they send out those cool invitations that they did last year. Remember the Captain America shield lenticular? I would love to have a Death Star lenticular Star Wars Disney Infinity 3.0 announcement in my collection.
Yeah. What do you think? Could it be like the never mind, I'm not even gonna embarrass myself with my lack of official Star Wars terminology. But what's the crest for the Star Wars the Rebels the Rebel thing? Do you think it could be shaped something like that?
Probably.
I don't know. So, Pirate, do you remember last year when they did send out those invitations? It was only about a week beforehand, wasn't it?
They didn't give much of a notice for it. So, I mean, I'm April's in like 2 days now. So, I would expect that we'd probably find out pretty soon.
Yeah. It's I would expect the same. Jason, what do you think? Do you think this is a good bet, or do you think like Pirate's kind of saying that it could also?
I agree with. I think you'd be silly not to capitalize on the massive fan base, but their only other options are D23, right? D23. Now I keep forgetting, is D23 after E3?
Yeah, D23 is going to be probably the last event prior to the release. It's in August, and
so
E3 is in June.
So I guess maybe if I had to, I think worst case, I think you get a tease. I think they've teased it enough anyway already. Mm-hmm. Like there's been that much, slight drops of the. It's clear that most people are guessing that it is going to be Star Wars. So I think worst case, we get a slight tease. We at least get it officially confirmed that it is Star Wars as part of 3.0. But maybe we get the full breakdown closer to E3. I don't know. Because I'm trying to remember, on that last event, what was the event they had, that big toy box thing? Was that a separate event? Remember they had the huge toy box where they went really in-depth into it? Or was that the same announcement event? I can't even remember.
Now, was that an event outside of the summit?
No. There was outside of the summit. They had this big stage thing, and it was all about the toy box, though.
Wasn't that for the Maleficent premiere?
Might have been. I can't remember. I just thought there was a separate announcement just for the toy box, and they went into detail about the new toys, and we learnt about the what do you call them, the builders and stuff like that in that event.
It could have been the same event before they started going into detail about Marvel. I remember they made the announcement about how many people have downloaded toys and such. So it could have been that one. But yeah, it's a great time to make an announcement like that, because we got all the characters for the game now, and
there's no other news, is there?
Yeah, it's time to get us pumped for next year.
They've angered all the international audience, so why not, try and smooth that over a bit with an announcement of a new game.
Yeah, pull a Houdini and do a little misdirection action, huh?
Exactly.
I think they should do it in April before Age of Ultron comes out, because everybody's going to be talking about Age of Ultron for months after that.
Yeah. Yeah, and since Marvel's kind of, even though we may see more Marvel in the next version, it's all of the marketing, especially initially, is going to be all Star Wars. Now, do you think I don't really pay too much attention to Star Wars Celebration? I pay closer attention to like Star Wars weekends in the parks. But do you think that this is a type of event that would be good for Disney Infinity, or do you think it's something that because there's lots of big names at this event? If I bring
So
it up back on.
is it a convention? Is it the Star Wars celebrations? Is it like a Comic-Con type thing, but just Star Wars related?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, cool.
Yeah, they have like special guests, special speakers. So just so Mark Hamill's gonna appear there. Production talent. J.J. Abrams is going to be on a panel on Thursday. So yeah, it's like the Star Wars con.
You'd be silly not to be there with Disney Infinity then. Like, if you're going to have all the Star Wars fans flock there, how much more? I've said it before, the only competition, as far as I know, this year is Star Wars Battlefront. That's the only other Star Wars game I know on console outside of the mobile space. But you'd imagine that they would have a booth or something promoting their Star Wars mobile game. So, I don't know. Seems
Yeah.
like I mean, what they don't really gain anything, do they, by keeping it under wraps longer? It's clearly coming out, so if it is Star Wars, then you may as well at least give a teaser trailer on that day.
Yeah, as long as they have enough to show, which I can't imagine at this point they wouldn't, assuming
If
that
they don't have anything to show, then it ain't coming out this year anyway. So
Right, exactly.
don't worry about it.
Last time when they made the announcement, I believe they came out with a teaser trailer a week or two before the announcement. And remember we saw like a little bit of it, and then we thought we were seeing the same trailer during the announcement, but then they showed Captain America grabbing the shield, and it went into a full extended trailer. So we might be getting the trailer even before that.
That was
That's
a
a
good
great-
trailer too.
Yeah, and so if last time's it was about a week and out, so if last timeline is something to go by, then we'll probably be seeing a short teaser next week to pave the way for. I gotta look at the calendar. I mean, I know it's 2 weeks away, but where's the actual dates fall on? It's got to be exactly 2 weeks, so we'll probably see something next week if we are going to see something. So maybe we'll have some news to talk about next week.
Fingers crossed.
So people in the chat are asking, where's our resident Star Wars expert? Well, this is just kind of a last minute item. We are going to be getting Logan back to talk Star Wars real soon. This is just more about the release date and less about Star Wars, I guess. So I think they're saying Pirate's not good enough. What do you have to say about that, Pirate?
Hey, quiz me. I know my Star Wars.
You do know your Star Wars, and that's why we felt okay to talk about it, even though you're drinking out of a Phineas and Ferb beaker, which is pretty awesome.
Look how awesome this is.
It's like
Hurts.
That's epic. Well, I guess time will tell. Do you guys have anything else you want to say either about Star Wars Celebration or one last thing I want to say is, Jason, you're spot on. You'd be crazy not to mention it. To introduce all of these rabid Star Wars fans that may not be into Infinity, what better place and time to introduce this new game than at that event?
And we welcome you all to the podcast.
Yes, with open arms.
Get some of these rabid Star Wars fans in here with. It's gonna be amazing once we figure out what's exactly going on with 3.0, because it's just gonna get bigger and bigger every year. I feel like it.
Well, so Pirate, actually, this is something I have for you. I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, because you've been in the toy box space for a long time now. I mean, this time last year you were building and competing. Look at that look of just accomplishment you have on your face. But with that being said, as someone who's not as involved in the toy box specifically, Jason's gotten really involved with it. But just as more of a toy box observer, I really feel like 2.0, because of how much more you can do in 2.0, the community has a lot more steam behind it. It seems like the toy box challenges and what the community team has been doing has really kind of kept up a little bit more of the momentum as opposed to this time last year. Am I wrong or right in saying
Yeah,
that?
I mean, you have a lot more than just the top 5 being published every week.
Mm-hmm.
You got, and I mean, little kids are submitting toy boxes, and that makes them feel good about their toy boxes and their accomplishments, and they'll just keep getting better and better. Like I think I saw one last night called Elsa plus Tink equals BFFs. So I mean, they got random ones out there. One of the things I like to do is we go through the different toy boxes and find the every week there'll be one that says it's the and then you play it.
It's not the best ever. Shocker.
That person thinks it is, and that's all that matters, right? But
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, I feel like I mean we're getting a lot more builders, and as far as the people that are competing in the challenge, uh, I see the year as like a toy box season. So we're pretty much midway through this season,
Hmm.
and the end being August and the summit and everything. So we're about halfway through. So still opportunity for a lot of toy box artists to make their name in 2.0 and bring that into 3.0, the momentum.
So with Star Wars being such a popular franchise and such a rabid fan base, do you think a lot of the existing toy box artists and builders out there, or just Disney Infinity fans in general, do you think that this would be kind of a spark to continue that momentum all the way up to the launch if we get that news in the next couple weeks?
Yeah, I can see people. I mean, just talking about Star Wars. I mean, in general, people are going to be talking about Disney Infinity all throughout the summer, if Star Wars is what it is, and
Hmm.
especially getting a trailer. I mean, I feel like this has been the year of trailers. The Lost World, the
Mm,
Jurassic World trailer, the Age of Ultron trailer. I mean, trailers are becoming an event in itself.
right.
Um, so I feel like once this Disney Infinity 3.0 one, if it's as good as we think it's going to be, that there's going to be a lot of trailer watching going on this summer.
Totally.
And
Yep.
I like what they did last year, where every week on Toy Box TV they would introduce a new character and
Mm.
show gameplay and stuff like that. So I could totally see that going on and getting people excited. And I can't wait to see what kind of things they bring into the Toy Box. Like, are we going to be able to do Stormtrooper enemies or anything like that? And just to be able to mix them at, like Marvel versus Star Wars and
Mm.
versus Disney and Pixar, like all that thrown into one and the little mixing pot is gonna be awesome.
Yeah, totally. Uh, well, can't wait. Can't wait to see the new game. Also, can't wait to start those trailer breakdowns. Those are a lot of fun too. Speaking of trailers, Pirate. Cool. Well, gentlemen, anything else you want to say about that, or shall we go ahead and move along to our next roundtable topic?
I think we can move on.
Awesome. So Jason, since you're in the middle of Pirate and I, you're like the middle child. You're always the one kind of getting beat up by both ends. What have you been doing the last 3 weeks to how long have you been working on your toy boxes?
I don't know. Is it 4 weeks? 4 weeks? I feel like it's a while. I feel like I couldn't tell you how many times I've ridden that Pirates ride. Around and around and around. Loved it every time though. But yeah, I guess I can't remember why did I even start it. I don't remember. But anyway, oh no, I wanted to do a collaboration with Pirate, and then I don't know. It just made sense to do Pirates since we both like the Pirates ride, so to speak. And so we started that process, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later. But then I got into that one so much, I thought I've got to do the Haunted Mansion as well. And that's when I approached you. Or no, you approached me and said, dude, I want to theme that. I'm like, all right. And so I created this situation where I'd handed the Pirates box to Pirate to sort of continue the theming of that box. And then I'd handed the Haunted Mansion to you to continue the theming, and I had nothing else to do. So that's when I started the Jungle Cruise myself, and I wasn't going to give that to anyone, just so I had something to be building while you guys had the other two boxes. And that was fine until crunch time, like what, 3 4 days ago, when all three boxes were buggy and needed fixing. So, but in the end, got to a point where it was good enough, I guess, so to speak. But as we'll Pirate and I'll go into detail, but actually the Pirates box, I think I think it's phenomenal, but we would have liked to seen a few more things in there, but we literally hit the limit. Like, you cannot get any leaner. There is no fat on that box whatsoever. It is, every block is there by design, and we literally could not fit another block. Isn't that right, Pirate?
Yeah, we maxed it out a total of 5 times, and we had to keep going back and deleting things. And there's a
Yeah,
lot of things we want to do in 3.0 to expand on it, but we got as much in as we possibly could.
yeah. And a huge learning experience for me. For instance, I didn't know, I discovered with this box that if you attach things, um, if you use a replayer, and when the items that you've spawned in via replayer, when they're not visible, they're not counting towards your limit. And so, in order to squeeze a little bit more juice out of our box, Pirate basically hid all of our fire effects, and they only appear just as when we need to see them, and then they disappear when we leave them. That's the only way. And I discovered a bug that we'd built so far that basically there wasn't enough room for that fire to actually generate, and hence broke the box. That's why we had to, like, block by block, remove everything we could just to allow space for cannonballs to spawn for the camera movements. And it was a real nightmare, but again, a huge learning experience for myself on how far you can push a toy box. And my personal view is that, again, I think the Pirates box is good, but I could have used another 50% of memory to be able to really completely sell it. For instance, one of the things we really wanted to get in but we couldn't in the fort scene is we wanted to have splash effects in the water when the cannons were firing, but we literally didn't have the memory to put it in, and so that had to get cut. And I was tweaking the track system till the very last minute, and ultimately, literally every fine thing we did was crashing something else, so it just wasn't worth it. So ultimately, we had to submit version 2 out of about 3 or 4. So, but it was pretty cool.
So to kind of frame this conversation, it's not just to toot our own horn. It's specifically Jason's in this. It's although you're getting accolades in the chat, so all of these toy boxes have been published now, and so people in the chat, feel free to go out and play them and let us know your thoughts and your feedback. But what this conversation is really kind of intended to do is it's interesting. There's 3 toy boxes, 2 of which were collaborations, and so this conversation is about toy box collaboration and some of the things that I think we learned as a group. Pirate Steve, he's been working on collaborating on toy boxes for quite some time, so he's going to have quite a bit of experience to speak on. But Jason and I, this was our first time really collaborating on a toy box for submission, outside of just messing around here and there, and we learned quite a few things. And as I participate in this experience, I learned quite a bit, and specifically about the process. And I just thought, for those that are interested in toy box collaborating, I think it's a great way to really kind of capitalize on people's strengths and really work on those strengths and create something that's pretty amazing. The first thing I want to mention, though, Jason, you just led me to this, is that you just said that all toy boxes have been submitted. You submit all of them this week. Pirate, I was talking to you earlier today, and you're like, yeah, I went ahead and submitted the pirate toy box. And I was like, well, why did you do that? The challenge isn't due until Wednesday. You still have a couple days. And what was your response to that, Pirate?
I said I was tired of looking at it.
Okay.
Every night till like 1 a.m. is me riding this ride, and it would work 4 times, and then the 5th time it wouldn't work. And I'm like, oh, come on, and just trying to tweak it. And every time I touch something, it breaks something else. I was like, you know what? This is a good copy. We're gonna go with this. And
what you also told me.
What else did I say?
You also said that it allows it to get out into people's hands, and you can and then
So something I've learned is testing is very important. So and also there's a deadline you want to try to keep. So if you can submit something on everybody likes to wait till the last minute to submit. Usually around Tuesday night or Wednesday morning, people want to submit because there's something called the buried effect. So they have been listing the toy boxes in order that they've received them. So if you submit something on a Monday or on the weekend or right before it, your box is going to be the first one at the very bottom. So they're going to submit everything. So anybody that submitted anything on Wednesday morning or Tuesday, they're going to be on the top of the newest list. And that's what gets the most downloads and plays. So if you submit something on Monday, you might not get a lot as many downloads and likes because you're further down on the list. But if you are confident in your box and you want to get out there, you can submit it on Monday, and that way a lot of more people get to play it, and you could figure out bugs and then resubmit it before Wednesday's deadline. Actually, with the Jungle Book, I submitted it on Monday, and a couple of my buddies played it, and they said, you know what, it's cool but what if you did this with it? And I just went home after work, fixed it, and resubmitted it on Tuesday before the deadline again, and they swapped out the boxes, so I had a better product out there because more people test played through it.
That's awesome, and so that's a pro tip right there. So two actually. So one is, even if you do submit early, to get some play testers out there and playing the toy boxes and giving you feedback, but also resubmit it once the deadline comes around, to get it more towards the top of the list.
Yeah, and you can also share with friends. So I knew that was the first thing I did with Pirates, is I shared it with friends, and then I eventually submitted it after that. But anybody that's a friend of yours on your console can see the toy boxes, and if you're Disney Infinity ID friends, even though you're not on the same console, you can go on the iOS device and download it, and then I believe you should be able to play it on your console after you save it to your list. I'll have to test it out, but yeah, definitely testing and having buddies and friends test it is very advised.
Well, and you know what, the toy box is just, it's such a peculiar beast. So you need to test, just like normal video game play testing, you need these toy boxes in a lot of different hands in a lot of different scenarios to find all of these different scenarios that can break things or cause weird issues. Like I was talking to Jason before the show, and I saw the finished product, and I was like, oh, this is awesome. I was so happy with it. I went to show my wife. I loaded up just like I did the last time. I did nothing different, other than the fact that it was a fresh load after I'd already loaded it, and it didn't work right. And so it's all these different scenarios that you need to kind of test out so you can fix, and hopefully, fingers crossed, most of those issues don't crop up in the final submitted box.
Hopefully.
So Jason, as someone who kind of orchestrated this collaboration, being the person who inspired the toy boxes and started the initial creation, can you share a little bit with us kind of what you did, and the process of creating a box and sharing it, and then getting it back and working on it? Like how did you keep all this stuff organized, and what was your plan with that?
Well, as you said, it was all inspired by the fact that realizing people's strengths, and I knew that I had a particular skill in the logic side of toy box building. I knew it all started with, I just wanted to see if I could actually build the an interesting track layout for Pirates. So when I pulled that off with some initial logic tests, that's when I got excited, and I thought, oh, actually, I think this is possible. Before I even started, I didn't think it was possible to create a creation that was as close as it came to the Pirates box. But I still knew in the back of my mind that my theming skills weren't up to scratch, but I knew Pirate was the master of that. So that's when I thought I'd reached out and do that. And that's all it basically was. I literally built the mechanics of it and handed it off. I did some of the theming. I did the block art and so on that's in it. But it's also a sanity thing. I think it's better when you co-op thing because it's not all on your shoulders. Would have been really easy for me just to throw it to the wind the first brick wall I hit. But when you're in part of a team, it's a little bit easier to sort of have that time away from it when someone else has got it. And you got also then the excitement of Pirate Knows. I was always excited when I got to see the updates to the box. The same with yours, Will. It's like something exciting about seeing where the boxes progressed when you haven't done anything effectively. It's like magically working away, continuing in the background. And I must admit, there is something even more special about the fact that we're on the other side of the world, and so while I sleep, it's getting built. And so it's almost like a 24-hour project on the go for like 3 weeks. And no joke, I was working on that Pirates box for probably about an average of 4 to 6 hours a day, I'd imagine. I can't even calculate the amount of hours that were in it and the amount of times I'd go out. And then that's obviously, and then I was switching between that and the mansion. I pretty much started the mansion immediately after handing the Pirates box off, and then got equally as excited about the mansion. And that's when you said you wanted to come in and theme, and I thought, awesome. And so that support level is really good, and we did an amazing job. People are going to agree when they see that. But yeah, I hope to see more of it in the future, because as I said, it seems to me silly that it's almost like, we're all working towards the top 5. We're all working towards potentially getting invited to the summit, but it's like, I just feel like we could all be so much more effective if we were working together on things. And so that's what I'll be championing from now on, is hopefully getting some more collaboration. I'd love to collaborate with more of the people out there, so to speak, when the right topics and challenges come up. But my prediction is, I think once the summit's actually been announced and people have been invited, it'll be my personal cause to sort of hopefully rally a group to sort of step away from the top 5, to be honest, and work on some stuff outside of it. Because when you think about it, like Pirate said, if 87% or whatever it was, the people are in the forums winning the thing anyway, if those people focus their energies on topics of their own, so to speak, that may not be part of the top 5, then I don't know. I just think there's some joy to be. I mean, Mighty Joda said that she's waiting for the right topic to show up. I think together we could make some incredible boxes that aren't necessarily. I'm looking forward to personally creating boxes that aren't just, not rip-offs is not the word, but you know what I mean. Like, I really enjoyed the Pirates box, but I said to Pirate and yourself, after building the mansion, I'm really inspired to do my own ghost story in my own mansion. That's a completely original concept and story. So, and I hope that'll be a collaboration with someone. And I know people like Romulus has got some really good ideas I'd like to collaborate with him on, and it's an exciting process. But Pirate, why don't you tell them about the technical process of how you can collaborate on a box, how we share the save files, and how that all works.
Well, first off, I didn't know I was going to be doing this challenge. And then when I first saw it, I'm like, maybe I'll do the Jungle Cruise with Mighty Jitus. And then Lauren's like, nah, I already started on it. And like, she's like, but why aren't you doing Pirates? I was like, that makes sense. And then Jason contacted me and was like, hey, you want to do Pirates? That'd be awesome. I was like, all right, well, let me look at your resume. You were the guy that did Australia Day, right? Okay. Neverland survived Starving Games. That was great. 6th place in the multiplayer challenge. Can't go wrong there.
6th, yeah.
And Groot's the musical. I mean, those were outstanding. And the Disney Dream. Those were great boxes. So, yeah, I was like, let's do this. And I think the first thing we did was we got on our little party chat on the PlayStation 4, and I said, Crazy by Nick, the guy that's putting all this together, actually did a Pirates box in 1.0. Let's see what he did and see how we could make it even better. So we downloaded Crazy by Nick's box, and we saw it, and we're like, well, this is very 1.0. There's a lot more things we can do in 2.0. So we, I was working on a Cinderella box, a Jungle Book box, and a Iron Man box all at the same time. So I'll let Jason take the wheel to do all the logic, and he built the track out. And he got really excited, and I was like, "What's up?" And he showed me this track that he built, and you just pretty much sit in the boat, which is the yellow Corvette, and it just brings you around the whole track. You don't even have to do anything, and it was amazing. But it was just blank. It was just terrain blocks, and I was like, "Wow, we got to fill that whole thing." So it's amazing what it looked like. I wish we had video or pictures of what it looked like to begin with, and then we just built it from the ground up and decided what scenes we wanted in it and what special effects we could do to enhance it. But pretty much, he had the box the first week, and then I took it on the weekends and a couple of nights, and then next weekend I gave it back to him, and then he would work on it and so on. And we would just message each other back and forth through Twitter, and tell each other about how excited we are, and we'd share pics, and then we would be on at the same time, and we'd do the party session and talk about ideas and pass it on. He would share it, and then I would download it, and then he would take it off his share. That's something they could probably improve in 3.0. Just put like a password or something where only I could download it and he could put it on there whenever. But if not, we had to be at the same time and be all stealth about it and delete it, because people get really excited. They see something published on there, they're going to try to download it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so pretty much we did that for 4 weeks, just to get it to where it was. And I had done collaborations before. My first box I built was a collaboration with Papa Echo before it became famous, and we did a Phantasmic box. And when you look at the collaboration back then and what we're able to do now, we were just texting each other on the phone, and that's how we would communicate with each other where we were and what we were doing in the box. And but now, I mean, it's great. It's great to do collaborative boxes, kind of like the Marvel series. It's good to have your Avengers movies with a big collaboration, and then you have your side pictures. So Iron Man can do 1, 2, and 3, and then do a big collaborative thing. It helps with the sanity, because, like I said, I worked on those other 3. I did way too much this month. I did those 3 other boxes, and then it's collaborative effort. And the collaborative one, which is outstanding, it felt like it was so easy compared to the other ones that I was working on by myself. And if you look at some of the toy box, more accomplished toy box artists with the most features, it's the Versuri 83 has it's a husband and wife team, so it's a collaborative effort of 2 people. The one under them is the Daddy twins, which is 2 people working on the boxes, and several of the people up top are like the French family. I mean, there's so many people that are working on these boxes that you would never know it, but they're all collaborative efforts. They're fun.
So that was one question I had for you, Pirate, and you did just kind of touch on it. So it's kind of nice to share that burden. It sounds like you have made many of single toy boxes where you're the only one working on it, but it's nice to be able to like Jason was saying, when he's sleeping, knowing he's handed it off to you to work on, and while he's snoozing away, the box is getting worked on. That's got to be a lot less stressful than having it all be on your shoulders.
Yeah, I'd be like, this logic doesn't work, Jason, fix it. And I'd push it to him, and then he'd be like, okay, I fixed it, and then give it back to me. But yeah, you sleep more, which is important.
Right.
Right.
Well,
some of the challenges are definitely, like with logic specifically, it's very hard, particularly if you don't really understand logic, the side of the toy box a lot. It's really hard to collaborate because you can't tell. It's really hard to tell what someone's done unless you know how to. Like, you have to literally open up every toy and somehow reverse engineer to work out what someone's actually done, and so it creates a situation where you really can't. Like, it was funny. We're all aware of the Theme All incident, but that happened in the mansion live on Twitch.
Like I had my hand on it 5 minutes.
But like, that's a real reality. Like, if you accidentally delete a seemingly innocent logic gate in the middle of a box when you're collaborating with someone, but you don't tell them about that, that could cause some serious headaches when you're passing the box, back and forth. So there definitely you have to communicate quite a lot in order to do that.
Yeah, constant saves and backups are very important, because I remember at the very end, like the past 3 nights, we were working on getting the track completely perfect, and we had so many different saved copies of it, and then literally today we ended up going back 2 or 3 copies because I had one on my machine that worked flawlessly. So
And
Or at
just
least
on the saves, I will let people know that I experienced this save bug that everyone was talking about, that I tweeted about, where supposedly if you've got too many saves on your system, and I'm guessing it must be in the cloud, you cannot save. And for a long while there, I couldn't save the boxes. I thought, great, all this work for nothing. I couldn't save, but I ended up deleting a ton of them. And I actually don't think it's to do with number of saves. I think it's to do with how much space your saves are taking up. Because I literally have only got maybe 5 toy boxes in my save bar, but I think Pirates is so full that by having 3 or 4 different versions of Pirates on my box,
Wow.
it must have maxed it out, so I couldn't save. So I'm like down to Pirates and Haunted Mansion and a couple of other
crazy.
boxes on my save thing. And so for me to go and do another big project, I think maybe an impossibility, certainly to the scale of what Pirates is, unless I just delete it, hope that it stays there for re-downloading at some point. But I'll wait and see what the submitted box turns out like before doing that.
And you started twitching the box, and I'm like, dude, don't give away all the cool things you're doing in there.
And that's part of the reason why, like, for future boxes, like, I like the top 5, but like, I really enjoyed the streaming side of it. But I did really start to feel subconscious about it afterwards. I thought, really giving away a lot of good hints and tricks here, to particularly the early part of the Pirates box. Like, I literally gave away the entire map and the trick on how to get back up the waterfall and stuff. Like, I gave the core mechanic away on how to do that all live on Twitch. But I really enjoy that interaction. And what box was I working? Was the Haunted? No, I worked on some box. Can't remember which one it was, but the Twitch chat was super helpful. We had a lot of the other, experienced toy box artists in there, and again, that collaboration really helped the box along. And so I want to do more of that, which is why I like to step away from the top 5, so I don't have to feel the pressure of someone's going to steal my ideas. And because I haven't had a win before, let's not forget. So this one was important for me to at least get a win. If I get one win, then I feel like I've earned the toy box artist name, and then I'm quite happy to share my knowledge and build live on Twitch. So look forward to that in the future.
Yeah, I was so impressed by Jason's building. Totally floored me. I mean, it's light years above Australia Day. That's what he did, and I was like, why haven't you been doing this for months now? You could be one of the stars. So hopefully he keeps it up.
I've been podcasting.
Tell me about it.
So a tip that I want to mention that you guys just spoke on is how important that communication is. Jason, when you first handed the Haunted Mansion box off to me, I was so afraid, because you're just like, okay, I shared it with you, I'm going to sleep now, have fun. And I look at the toy box and I see all of these Logic toys in there, and I was so afraid to touch anything for fear of messing it up and like not realizing I messed something up. And so the very first time I got the box, it didn't really do too much until we were able to get together again at the same time, and I could ask you questions and you could kind of walk me through a technical, okay, this button resets things. As long as you do this before you save things, everything will be back to normal. And so I think that's really important. Whoever initiates the first stage of the creation to kind of give an overview of the toy box to the next person. So then from that point forward, we didn't have any issue with that, Jason. We just kind of understood from that point. But I did kind of need that little brief beforehand.
And we should also mention too, as far as top 5 submissions, like in this particular challenge, Pirate is submitting the Pirate box, and he's just put my name in the description, which I was fine with. And then I submitted our Haunted Mansion box. We're effectively going to be known under the same name, we figure, under the Disney Infinity TV toy box moniker, username, or whatever. And so I submitted those, and then I also submitted the Jungle Cruise, but Jungle Cruise was a throwaway one. But I think that's important because I don't think there's been no one's won multiple boxes in a top 5 before, have they?
Yeah, Crazy by Nick actually, for the first Disney Parks Challenge, got 2 first place boxes. They gave it to him for Tower of Terror and Indiana Jones.
That's right.
But yeah, and then the Baroness got 2 Gravity Falls toy boxes in the same challenge. So it's been done before, but yeah, definitely impressive. Even if there are honorable mentions, but I think the Haunted Mansion one and Pirates and your Jungle one will be definitely fan favorites. It'll be fun
I
to watch
just
the downloads and likes on them.
go on. Well.
Oh, I was just gonna ask.
What we go through, where the whole week you're like wondering until that Toy Box TV next Wednesday. Wednesday nights are like the party night or the most disappointed night of your life when you get to see this if your box appears in that list.
I look forward to
Yeah,
it.
I was gonna ask. Do you think that even though it has been done, people have won multiple toy boxes in the same running? Do you think this might enhance that just by if you can splitting up the submissions by different accounts, Pirate?
Yeah,
Or do you think it really matters?
I think that's the case, but personally, I don't really care. Just be nice that if you could, because the problem is, it's not a big thing, but the problem is if someone looks up my thingo, Pirates won't be listed there, which is not a big thing, as I said, but it'd be nice if you could attach multiple IDs to a box for those search results reasons, because I think people always say, and I hate the term, but people always say they want playset quality toy boxes. Well, the reality is, if you want a playset quality toy box, the only way that's really going to come in some form of any frequent form is through collaboration. And so, in order, with the, not having the ability to attach multiple artists to a box, is frustrating in that context. I do want to clarify. I think a better term for, because the problem with playset quality toy boxes is I don't think people actually want to play playset type toy boxes. I think they're too complicated. I think the term we just want is toy boxes that are worth your time, entertaining. Does it? I think you tend to equate, if you say toy box play sets, I think you equate that to length and style, so to speak. But I just think, regardless, I think the future is a collaboration, because you'll get. It's unrealistic to expect someone, like, as I said, if Pirates took a collaborative between Pirate and I, if that was a total, I don't know, let's call it 40-hour box. That's unrealistic. No one's going to be able to put 40-hour box out every week or 2 weeks, are they? But like,
Right.
4 or 5
I think
artists
the
only
closest-
doing 5 hours each, you're going to get a great product.
The closest one that I feel like has come to a playset so far is CC Runner 524 did a Thor one that came out last week, and I believe it's 7 toy boxes linked together, and the linked actually worked, and everything works in it, and it's supposedly really fun. I haven't played it yet, but it's being very popular, and people are calling it a Thor playset. So
That's cool.
it's been done before. I personally don't. It takes, like we said, it takes 40 hours for us to build one box. I don't have the time to build a playset. Yeah, if we collaborate on something, that would give me more time. But it takes 40 hours to build like a simple mini game. So I'm sure that's why most people aren't knocking playsets out the park every week. Here's another tip that I want to tell you. When I do my submissions, just for a sanity check, I always take a picture of the screen that says your toy box has been submitted to Disney, because it's so simple. After you do it, that's all you do is you get a prompt that says that, and you hit OK, and there's like no email confirmation or anything. So you get paranoid if your submission actually went through. So I always look at my picture and go, yes, I really did submit it.
That's a good tip.
Have you ever had to use that?
No, I haven't, luckily,
No.
but I'm always like, yeah, I did submit it.
Yeah. Romulus in the chat, Pirate, going back to your CC Runner comment, saying they think that CC spent 3 to 4 weeks on that single toy box.
Yeah, I think that's the only challenge you did this month. So
Wow. That's insane.
Yeah, it'll be worth it. I would be shocked if it wasn't number one on Wednesday night. But yeah, it'll be worth it for that one box. But he also builds with his wife, so that's kind of a collaboration there. But yeah, it's exhausting.
Well, and that's what's so great about these collaborations and new toy box artists coming out and creating compelling experiences like you're doing this week, Jason, is that if our pool of accomplished toy box artists is larger than a handful of familiar faces who are always making just phenomenal content, but if that toy box artist pool grows a little bit, then it allows for some of these other artists to say, you know what, I don't want to do any more than 1 or 2 challenges this month, so I can really kind of stretch and extend myself to create really long experiences or really robust experiences. And so it's great whenever those new names kind of pop up in the challenges each week, because hopefully that means in the background some toy box artists that are familiar that didn't win are plugging away on something pretty grand and not competing that week or something.
Yeah, with April, we're getting to a stretch where the game's been out for more than 6 months. Everybody's playing it, and a lot of the toy box artists are getting kind of burnt out from doing this for over a year now. But so I feel like April, May, June, we're going to get a lot new toy box names in there just because people are worn out. But it's also, if a toy box artist has a great idea, they're not going to take that break they said they were going to say. A lot of people in the forum be like, I'm taking a break. If you get an idea, you're not going to take that break. And the other thing that I feel like as well is I don't want to take a break and then everybody else who says they were going to submit something is not submitting something, and then the quantity or the quality of the toy boxes go down if people aren't submitting toy boxes on a regular basis.
Yeah. Interesting. Gentlemen, we're about to wrap things up, but do you have any other collaboration tips or tricks or stories that you want to tell before we kind of end tonight's show?
Yeah, toy box breaks constantly when you have 2 people in the box at the same time, so don't do it. Only do that for tutorial purposes, but never build anything when there's 2 people in the box at the same time, because I have no idea what it does. But just seems like if something's broken, it's because there's a second player. We had a situation where we couldn't even get a 3rd player into the Pirates box. It literally just would not allow it. So obviously the more people you have in a box, it also affects the memory amount. So that's kind of frustrating, and hopefully they can fix that in future versions of the game. But yeah, it's an incredible bug fest, but that's a rant for another time. And but yeah, I think it's, as a general rule, after what I just experienced, keep that pointer in the orange. Try not to get it in the red. And if you start getting the red, start thinking, stop with new ideas and just polish from there. That's the only hot tip I can give.
Cool.
But I also encourage everyone to at least try the collaboration process, because, as I said, the real beauty of it is if you're someone that loves creative toys but not the best in theming, there's someone out there who loves theming but doesn't necessarily like the construction side of it, and it's just fun working as a team. It really adds to the enjoyment of the process. Is a game after all, so it's supposed to be fun, and I think you'll enjoy it. So why not try the collaborative process out? And if you want to find someone, I'm sure the forums is the best place to find someone to collaborate with. You just need an idea that you're both passionate about.
I couldn't agree more. What about you, Pirate?
So I only knew Jason from the podcast, and we hung out at dinner one time and everything. But I actually like Jason a lot more now after spending so much time with him this month. I mean, it's been sleepless nights hanging out with Jason playing video games, and you get to know somebody more, and you get to work on something that hopefully is seen as art and a masterpiece. So, I like Jason a lot more now.
See, it's a friendship
Not that I didn't like it before, but friends are funnier now.
I know, but it's all right. We can. There was hate.
That's because you met the deadline, Pirate.
Come on.
That's right. The whip didn't have spikes on it like yours will. The one that I was cracking at you was a little bit more harsh. I must admit. But you delivered. A day late, but you delivered.
Hey, as long as I got it to you. Hey, my schedule's a little bit different than. See, I thought it was correct, Jason, because you're in the future, so I thought I was actually on time. That doesn't make any sense, but
We were
whatever.
all behind the scenes. We were like, Will can't do this. And then I was literally, my jaw dropped when I actually rode the ride and went, oh my gosh, he's done it. Like, this is great.
Oh, I
Well
hate
done.
you. I
Yeah,
hate
we
you.
did talk about Will behind his back.
That's all right. I'm sure I deserved it. At
I
least
thought I
now
was
you
going to
know.
get a box back with like a pot plant in it and go, yeah, I did it. Can you finish the rest? But no, like you'd done the entire mansion. It was amazing.
Oh,
Well,
I had you work.
then he themed all. I said the next time y'all are playing, do a save and then pretend like you themed all again, just to make me nervous.
I was afraid to actually screw it up though, so
No,
I
you
can't
did an
believe though
amazing job.
that was a great lesson learned though, because I was so careful every time I themed something, because I had a certain power disc that I needed on the base to theme correctly, and every time it would pop up when I'd load up the toy box, I would like read it like 5 times and make sure that I was pressing no, do not theme all. Same for
One
theming
time I
box.
loaded the box and I'm like, Jason, come check this out. This is awesome. And then he had the Nightmare Before Christmas Sky Dome on it and completely changed my Sky Dome to Nightmare Before Christmas and the Pirates box. So,
That's awesome.
don't if you're joining somebody's session, take your Sky Domes off because you're gonna
Oh,
screw them up.
that's a good point. I haven't thought of that one either. This is kind of off the topic, but I don't know if you guys if you have this issue or if you have this request. But to me, it would help not only in the collaboration conversation, but just with our listeners and viewers. Do me a favor, if you add myself or any of us on either PSN or Xbox Live, just give us your handle of what we may know you as, or who we may know you as, because we get lots of friends requests, and I love adding friends, but unless it matches like what I see in Twitch or what I interact with on Twitter, then a lot of times I won't know who it is, and a lot of times I won't actually interact with you. So if you add any of us on PSN or Xbox Live, let us know who you are, because that will also kind of enhance collaborating with you, if we know who we're talking to online and stuff like that. So cool, gentlemen. Well, this is awesome show. I can't wait to see what collaborations the future is going to bring, either with us or with us and others. It's exciting times. For me, it was a quite an eye-opening experience, and my most enjoyable toy box experience to date. So for that, I definitely thank you, Jason.
No, thank you. I enjoyed working with both of you, and I can't believe the end product blew myself away.
Oh, one thing I did want to mention this. It's not really about collaboration, but one thing I thought was really cool that you really stretched yourself even further, Jason, was that you created 2 entirely separate track systems. So Pirate, you created a boat ride system where your character is sitting in a boat and you're going through, and there are camera changes to kind of focus your attention on the action. But then in the mansion, the entire track system is a camera system, and I thought,
Well, it starts off on foot. Starts off on foot.
That's
Let's not
true.
cut it short. That's
True.
It's not entirely
True.
a camera system.
You're right. I wasn't trying to discount it. My point was that like instead of just copy and pasting what you'd already done, you're like, nope, I'm gonna start from scratch with an entirely new type of track system, and I thought that was really cool.
Yep, definitely.
hats
And
off.
I will be doing a tutorial on that track system after the boxes have been approved and stuff, because I think I can even slightly tweak it, but it's a nifty little system, I think, that can be applied hopefully on anyone wanting to do a dark ride that's boat based. And I said to
Nice.
Pirate, like yesterday when we were just about to submit, I really hope they give us a boat to use in 3.0, something that would be awesome if it was themed like the Pirates boat, which is the same boat as in It's a Small World. That'd be really cool for custom dark rides, which is something I'm excited to see in the future.
Cool. Definitely, I want that as well. I love these ride systems. Mr. Pirate Steven from Disney Infinity Fans, thanks so much, buddy, for joining us tonight. This was a fun conversation. I'm glad you were able to make it a little bit early.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's fun. The collaboration was awesome. I look forward to collaborating again.
Yeah, so you are a mod on the Disney Infinity Fans forum. Do you want to mention the forums again? Plug anything that's going on over there?
Yeah, just something quick, and people don't really have many days left to do it. But there's a great forum contest where you can make your make like an adventure for one of the 1.0 characters, um, because obviously people. It's really cool because then you get to you have a reason to play with your 1.0 figures again. I believe so far 7 people have entered, and there's some more coming in. But you have until really tomorrow to do your submission to get it in there on time. But yeah, it's a lot of fun because I played one the other day. It was themed to Lone Ranger, and I hadn't picked up Lone Ranger for over a year now, and it was a blast getting to play with a level 20 Lone Ranger in this little toy box. So
That's
definitely
awesome.
check out the forums to see that contest because you can win a Guardians of the Galaxy signed playset by Studio Gobo, as well as a Ronin figure signed by the Studio Gobo. So definitely cool to win prizes, right? For submitting
Always.
toy boxes. And yeah, and definitely check that topic on the forum to find the links to play all of them because they're going to be really fun.
And you guys are always doing contests, so even if you can't make this deadline, then you should still check out the forums for future
Yeah,
contests.
the success of this one will trigger more contests in the future. So yeah, definitely check out. I know they have like Lone Ranger, Tonto. I mean, there's all these figures that might have been left on a shelf somewhere, and they're display figures now. But now you get to rebirth them and play with them again. Rebirth them. That sounds weird. But yeah, that's it. That's enough play.
Awesome. Cool, man. Well, thanks again for coming on the show. It was great, and I can't wait to see. I got a sneak peek at the pirate box, so I can't wait to see it once it's published. And
Absolutely, let us know the feedback and what you think of it. Love to hear that.
Yeah, cool. Jason, anything you want to say other than that your toy boxes are out there and people can? Is your Jungle Cruise out there yet? Because I haven't even played that one yet.
No, I submitted it yesterday, so hopefully the next day or so it'll be available for public download. I'll tweet that out, and I'm sure we'll tweet it out on the official Disney Infinity TV account. But obviously, if you're a friend of mine, you can download it now and play it. There's over 45 jokes I wrote, I think, and put it on a randomizer. So I think I calculated it's something like 156 variant different rides are possible on it. So
Wow.
I'm really happy with it. Yeah, it was a fun box to build, and yeah, enjoy.
That's awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll win
Obviously,
because I
it's
made a
great
few digs at
stuff.
Disney Infinity, so we'll see. But
What was that, pirate?
I was saying I've ridden his Jungle Cruise, and a lot of those jokes are original jokes, and I laughed. I thought they were funny.
That's
But
funny.
yeah, he had some great ideas. Like he wants to do an Australian version of the Jungle Cruise, and
yes,
and do a Christmas version. And I mean, this possibilities are infinite.
that's right.
Yes.
I will make the Jungle Cruise the way it
You
should have
gotta do
been, and I also want to try a Halloween nighttime version of the Jungle Cruise. So look forward to mods of that in the future.
Yeah,
Nice,
his piranhas are really impressive. That was my favorite part of that box.
So check that out. Otherwise, I'll let it know when it's public available. But if you're a friend of mine, you can download it today and laugh at my horrendous spelling. But I couldn't be bothered editing it because you can't edit descriptions, and my fingers were sick of typing as it was.
Too funny. All right, gentlemen. Well, thank you so much for joining us on tonight's show. It was a great conversation. Even though we had no news, it was still lots of fun to talk. Thanks, everyone who joined us in chat. We love seeing you all each and every week. And this is a great conversation because we had a lot of Toy Box artists in there, and it was fun kind of getting their thoughts as we were talking about collaborating and just talking about winning Toy Boxes as is. So thanks, everyone, for joining us in chat. You can join us each and every Monday evening, 8 p.m. Mountain Time. Just head over to twitch.tv/Disney Infinity TV. And gentlemen, that's going to wrap it up for this week. We hope you enjoyed the show. And until next week, we hope your week is filled with infinite possibilities. We hope you enjoyed this week's episode of Inside Infinity. Please look for us on our social media. Head over to Twitter, follow us there. Also join our Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/Disney Infinity TV. Subscribe to us on Twitch. Also subscribe to our parent network, res.tv on Twitch. That's twitch.tv/res TV. Also subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/Disney Infinity TV. Thanks everyone. Until next time.